In 2016, Mary Moo found herself on a flight to Amsterdam, not knowing that her life would soon hang in balance. Little did she realize that thousands of feet above the earth, the tiny semiconductor chips in her pacemaker would become her lifeline. As the plane touched down the Amsterdam, she was rushed to the hospital, her fate uncertain, and the cause of her dire situation was a glitch in tiny computer that powered her pacemaker. The data within it had been corrupted, putting her life in grave danger. But Mary's problem wasn't unique. There have been other strange incidents too. Astronauts have reported strange flashes of light while in space. Pacemakers have malfunctioned at critical moments. Flight computers have unpredictably encountered snags. And even the simple act of counting votes has become mathematically perplexing. All these seemingly unrelated incidents share a common invisible enemy: cosmic rays. These high energy particles from the cosmos rains down upon us, with their intensity increasing as we ascend to the higher altitudes. Our atmosphere acts as a protective shield, absorbing the majority of these cosmic rays and shielding us from their potentially catastrophic effects. But why is this story so crucial? You might wonder. It's because the very technology that saved Mary, the semiconductor chips, is at the heart of aviation and countless other industries. As we venture further into the uncharted territory of space, and as our reliance on the technology continues to grow, the importance of reliable semiconductor technology becomes increasingly evident. So join us on the journey as we explore the incredible role that semiconductor chips play in aviation, space exploration, and our daily lives. Chips in the spacecrafts are exposed to more cosmic rays, along with other space radiations as well. Space radiations can be broadly categorized into three main types. First one is trapped electrons and protons. These are particles that held within the Earth's magnetic field. They create a strong radiation belts. Spacecrafts that operates within or pass through these regions can be exposed to high levels of electrons and protons. These particles can interact with semiconductor materials in chips, causing damage and potentially leading to malfunctions or data corruption. Another type is solar flare induced proton particles. Solar flares are eruptions on the sun's surface that releases a burst of high energy particles, including protons, into the space. When these particles reach the vicinity of Earth's or spacecrafts, they can pose a significant radiation hazards. NASA and other space agencies closely monitor solar activity and issue warning to protect astronauts and spacecrafts from the increased radiation associated with solar flares. And the last one are galactic cosmics. These rays are high energy particles that originate from outside of our solar system. These particles, including heavy ions, travel through space at nearly speed of light. When they encounter a spacecraft, they can penetrate its proactive shield and interact within the semiconductor components, potentially causing errors or damage. These ionizing radiations can knock the electrons out of any atom it strikes. They can damage chips over time, degrading the performance and eventually making the device useless. These high energy radiations particles can flip the value of transistors from 1 to 0 or vice versa, called single event effect or bit flips. Such bit flips becomes fatal as the devices starts to behave unexpectedly. Historically, to protect electronic chips from radiations, engineers relied on shielding and redundancy. Let's try to understand these two techniques. For shielding, engineers would cover the chips in lead or aluminum containers. As lead is very dense with its atom very close together, it makes it very hard for penetrating radiations to get across. Another radiation defense strategy is redundancy, which involves putting several copies of critical components onto a satellite so that if one fails, we have a backup. However, it costs around 10,000 US dollars to launch every pound of payload into the space. With recent advancement into technological applications, we are sending smart devices to space with more electronic chips. Thus, we can't spend so much on having duplicate components, right? So, We need chips manufactured to be less susceptible to damage from exposure to radiation and extreme temperatures. And these specific chips are called as radiation hardened or red hard chips. Let's try to understand the approaches to make red hard chips. Traditionally, silicon has been go-to material for semiconductor chips due to its excellent electronic properties. However, it has some drawbacks. When it comes to the space applications, silicon has relatively fragile atomic bonds, making it susceptible to radiation's damage in the space. This is where materials like gallium nitride, zinc oxide come into play. Chips with these materials have powerful bonds that make them intrinsically more resistant to the radiation damage. If energetic radiations does shift electron out of place, these materials have such strong bonds that their atomic lattices exert a self-healing force that guides atom back to their proper location. Also, it was found that gallium nitride and zinc oxide have better thermal stability and can also withstand extreme temperature compared to silicon. Apart from manufacturing, there are design techniques to make chips less susceptible to radiations. Let's explore these techniques. Traditional silicon-based chips are constructed on a single silicon substrate. However, the silicon on insulator technique employs a layered structure consisting of a thin layer of silicon, which is nothing but an active layer, on the top of insulating material, which is silicon dioxide, and that layer is itself on another layer of silicon, the handle layer. Make it less susceptible to capacitive and radiation effect. In contrast to dynamic random access memory, which uses capacitor to store data and sensitive to radiation induced charge, SRAM type of memory that uses flip-flops can be used to store data. ECC, short form for error correcting code, is a memory technology that incorporates extra parity bits with data to detect and correct errors caused by radiations or other factors. A watchdog timer can be employed for critical operations of the system to perform a hard reset of the system in case of some data become corrupt and didn't function according to the expected sequence. There are few companies that manufactures red hard chips, which are Microsemi, BAE Systems, Renesas and Honeywell. As we look into the future, the demand of red hard chips is expected to grow steadily, driven by increasing use of commercial satellites, space explorations mission, and the ever-expanding requirements of intelligence and surveillance activities on a global scale. Were you already aware that there was an entire industry behind making the chips susceptible for space explorations? Let us know in the comment section. As you embark on the journey after college, consider the vast opportunity that awaits you in the semiconductor industry. Stay curious, stay engaged, and stay connected with us as we continue to explore the ever-evolving landscape of semiconductor technology. Whether you are an industry enthusiast or a fresh graduate looking to make your mark, this is your chance to be part of industry that shaping the future. Join our community, stay updated on the latest trends, innovations, and career opportunities in the semiconductor world. Together, let's deep dive into this fascinating realm of technology and make our mark in the semiconductor industry. Subscribe to our channel and keep motivating us. Thank you.